Just trying to get the teleprompter going, and now it won't stop. Hi, folks.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck it, we'll do it live. Well, we do it live. That used to be a joke, now it's true. How are you, kids? What it was and what it is and what it never be up in this big headline here. I don't know what's going on. Trump had to run home from Canada. He was at the G7 summit last night, and he goes, now I got to get out of bigger things. It was almost like a quote. And then I look at the headline this morning. I mean, he told people last night to get the hell out of Tehran. I don't know what American would be over there or why you're there, unless you don't. If you don't have a gray beard down to your nuts and love Muhammad, you have no business being over there. Cheapest crow. Watch your language, Nick. The headline here in the Post this morning, brought it up a few minutes ago, brace for impact. Israeli ambassador warns of surprises up our sleeves in fight against Iran, in line with Trump's ominous warning. Expect a surprise later this week, Yikel Leiter told Merit TV on Monday. Oh, my God. What does that mean, folks? I mean, Trump was on a plane last night. I didn't get the clips of this because it was like 1 in the morning. I couldn't sleep, and but he's on the plane doorway talking to reporters like he always does. And they're like, well, what do you want to see? You want to see a cease? He goes, no, I don't want a ceasefire. I want this to end. We want an ending to this, something like that, he said, not a ceasefire. And so I don't know. And like I said, he had to bolt the G7, and he told people to get out of Tehran. I'm guessing, Bibi said, look, it's on, man. We're turning this place into a party. They whacked another guy last night, a high up military guy. I don't know how many they have over there, but apparently the Mossad have all their addresses and their phone numbers, where their kids go to school. Trump spars with Caitlin Collins, lashes out at CNN fake news over Israel-Iran conflict. Trump demands complete give up, he means surrender, by Iran. He looked tired. For the first time in my life, I noticed he was tired. He's in the doorway, and he looked tired and kind of cranky, and he was good. He still kept his, demands complete give up of Iran as Israel takes out Tehran's most senior military commander. Trump denies whatever. Anyways, so, put on your helmets. I don't know what's coming. You don't know what's coming. Tell you one thing, Trump's usually a man of his word, but it's, like I said, it's the Israelis probably saying, look, we're doing this. How do you want to play this? Big fight going on right now amongst the right and Republicans and whatever the fuck. Before I get to that, don't forget to tune in. I rolled the thing past the whatever. We got a brand new lineup here at Rumble. From 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. live. It starts with, you can see Louder with Crowder, Tim Pool, Vince in the Crucible with Andrew Wilson, who sends his guy, leads into our show. Thank you. I have to say that every day for the next 10 years. Enough, Andy. Heads up, I'll be in the studio live with Crowder tomorrow and Thursday. Okay? So we streamed yesterday and we streaming today, and then you'll catch me on his show Wednesday and Thursday. You can't, come on. Can't be in two places. Today I'm going to be talking about all kinds of caca and poo-poo, some pee-pee. Tim with the weather. More violence from the left in Manhattan at a courthouse. Even for New York was kind of shocking. Trump is going after illegals. He said, I'm coming to the sanctuary cities. Enough of this. We're going to New York, Chicago, L.A. We get Colbert showing what a bitch he is. It's not even related to all the current stuff, but it just struck me as him interviewing some gay black woman who's playing John Wayne. I don't know what she's playing. She's playing Jesus. Wow, how did I forget that? That's how little it meant to me. But Colbert's whacking, oh my God. White crowd stands up and applauds. Nobody knows who the fuck she is. You guys are stuck in a time warp. You have your own little thing. You look so silly, Colbert, Kimmel. You look silly. It's obviously you've been hired by the government. You're a mouthpiece for the Democrat Party and whatever ails this country. And you're doing it under the guise of being entertainers. It's really embarrassing. We can see right through it. That shit will come out later when you're done. Red Sox went up to Seattle last night, who's very good this year. Seattle and the Sox won their 6th in a row. This is after dumping Devers. I talked about that yesterday. I'm all fucked up, man. I'm still in shock. But they went up there without Devers on the plane and shut out a very good team. And Giolito, a pitcher who we had 2 years ago, but he's been hurt. He's finally healthy. Man, he looked tremendous. The pitching is the last 2 weeks has been, they could win. Last night, they're actually in a playoff spot. They went from being 10.5 down a week and a half ago to the Yankees. Now they're 5 behind, 5.5 behind. Whack that many off the thing, and good things are going. And then they dump greatest hitter, so still, we'll see how that didn't affect them last night. Like you people give a shit. But I'm just saying. And, of course, my boy, Roman Anthony, hits his first ding-donger. And there's going to be a lot more to come. Every time he hits the ball, if it's a foul ball or it's like Barry, but it sounds different. And he's not a big steroid mice. He's a tall 21-year-old Italian kid. And it's very exciting. I know you people are just eating it up. And what the fuck? Anything else? I got a feeling while we're doing this. Anyways, who knows what's going to happen? Let's move on to the first story, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy prison, Pete. Well, who's Pete, Nick? Well, he's a former Coast Guard lieutenant. Was recently arrested for what, Nick? For allegedly making threats to kill President Donald Trump. Get in line, Trump said. No, he didn't. I said that. Didn't I say that? I did.
It's freedom, baby. Yeah.
Yeah. You see? The suspect, Virginia resident, Virginia, they ought to go door to door and frisk everybody. Peter Stinson served as an officer in the U.S. Coast Guard from 1988 to 2021. I wonder how you pulled that off, Pete, like you were pro-American all those years. Or maybe you flipped later on. He looks like the guy, I'll tell you what he looks like. He looks like the doctor that the psychoanalyst that used to work with Michael Myers in Halloween. I love that actor. He was so good. I mean, over the top, but good. I've seen his eyes. You don't know what's behind them. I've worked with him for years. Never have I seen it. Anyways, he was in the Coast Guard pulling people's pricks from 88 to 21. He was a sharpshooter. As not a guy you want fucking wanting to kill you. Sharpshooter as well as a FEMA instructor during that time. Because a lot of times gunplay breaks out when you're building a shed. In one instance, Stinson reportedly wrote that Trump needed to be Luigi'd, with the emphasis on L. On May 9th, he said that. He was referencing Luigi Mangione, you know, the trumpet player who that hit. I can't even, it was a theme song. That's Chuck Mangione. Luigi Mangione's the guy who was accused of killing United. I like how we still have to say accused and alleged when we have him on fucking video doing it. That's why this country's that's why you don't believe in the legal system. It's kind of silly. Iran has it right sometimes when it comes to shit like this. You know what I mean? And it's got to be a happy medium. I had a bit about this. I can't remember it fucking years ago. But it's got to be a happy medium between, you got a guy shooting somebody on film, video, whatever you want to call it. Got to be a happy medium between, I don't know, a 10-year process to find him guilty or just hanging him 5 minutes in downtown. There's got to be a little, I lean towards Iran with that. Little severe, yes, but whatever. Got you on video, pal. Let's say it's a life in prison. Let's say it's a death thing. If you're caught on video, it's a death thing. I don't care what state. I just made that shit up. That's what Biden did. Anyways, yeah, that was the guy that killed Brian Thompson last year. And the more I deal with my insurance company, the less sympathy I'm feeling. Not to be an asshole, but they are fucking gangsters to the hill. Stinson allegedly made graphic threats against Trump involving guns, poisoning, even knives. What's he, friends with Wolfgang Puck? How you going to... On multiple social media platforms. He's saying all kinds of shit about my boy Trump.
Shut up! Shut!
I agree.
Shut up! Shut up!
Stinson also allegedly referenced not having the necessary skills, that's in quotes, to successfully complete an assassination. That's what he's kind of checking. But then he also airily suggested that he wasn't being entirely truthful. I don't know how you go from serving your country in the military to this, you know? I'm sure there's a lot of libs going, what do you mean? A king, he thinks he... The document also alleges that Stinson made several references to 8647. Remember that? Comey walking on the beach with his pig wife. Excuse me, Mrs. Comey. You probably... Anyways, fuck you. You married a jerk. And he found that shell formation, 8647. Of course, he had to put it online. Like he didn't know that was going to stir up some shit. Anyways, which government officials say is likely in reference to the Instagram post made by former FBI Director Jerkoff Comey. On February 2nd, Stinson allegedly posted on his ex account. How can it be allegedly? It's in writing, your mother. Well, somebody else could have hacked it. All right, maybe. It's on his ex account. Sure, this is war. Sides will be drawn. Antifa always wins in the end. I don't know what movies you've been watching. Every time they wander into a town that has rednecks in it, they fucking get their face kicked in and they run the other way. Wake up, stupid. You inhale too much fucking salt air. Antifa always wins in the end. Violence is inherently necessary. Well, we'll find out.
So fucking stupid.
Like, you don't think the right feels that way if you push the right to... Well, look at Israel. Yeah, it's inherently necessary when we have Marxists living amongst us, like you bearded fuckface. Excuse my French out there, conservatives, but again, grow up. It's language, it's words. The most recent post referenced in the document was published on Blue Sky. That's the left-wing, Twitter. Remember they used to control Twitter? Now they had to skedaddle because something very ugly and filtered Twitter called The Truth and Elon Musk and free speech. So they had to run like the bitches there and start their own Blue Sky on June 11th. That's what hippies name their daughters. This is Blue Sky. Or fucking whatever, Beyonce. Here's Blue. Good name, stupid. When did you come up with it? When she's choking on a pork rib? What the fuck? Okay. When Stinson allegedly wrote, when he dies, the party is going to be huge. Y-U-G-E. He thought he was being very funny.
Bye-bye, dickhead.
Yeah, enjoy your fucking time in prison, girly-o. Former Coast Guard guy. The airport's only 18 minutes away, and I'm still fucking got a pit in my stomach. Guys, I don't have it easier than you can have it as far as a commute to the airport. And literally, I told you, Condé Nast, whatever that magazine is, they voted Savannah Airport the best number one airport in the country last year. And on a day like today, I'll walk in. I keep telling this story, but after living in New York City and living 35 miles north of the city for a few years and having to commute from there to LaGuardia or Kennedy, it's your worst nightmare. You got to leave a day early, hoping you make your flight. This is today, this is how it usually goes on a Tuesday. I'll park my car like in the farthest garage away because Savannah's growing and the indoor garages are full now. So I park in this lot. It's called the whatever, spillover. And I'll walk all the way from there into the airport, up the escalator, into friggin', security. Nobody last time on a Tuesday. All the way from my car to security, there was nobody in front of me. I get there and I go, what? Even a guy in the booth was like laughing. I go, I know this place is... All the way. It's a quarter-mile walk, maybe. Nobody in front of me. Went. And the other thing, I always fly out of the same gate here, American to Dallas. It's right across, the bar is right in front of gate 8. This town, it's like a shamrock up my ass. I say that, and you'll see me tomorrow amongst charred remains. You'll find me in seat. I'm going to try to get 11A. I'll be sitting on a lady's lap. I don't give a shit. You'll find a charred body with me on my iPad looking at porn. Oh, God help us. Let's move on to some what I call a courthouse craziness. And again, like I said, even for New York, in today's world, this sort of stuck out as the violence was a bit shocking. But it is a sanctuary city, by the way, which Trump came out yesterday and said, we're going to those places. And we're going after, and people are upset about it. We are doomed as a species. If everybody can't agree, I really feel that way. Even if Trump gets the job done, you fucking people on the left have swallowed it hook, line, and sinker for the last 50 years, all this shit. Shocking footage captures I digress. Shocking footage captures the moment a knife-wielding maniac lunged at officers inside a Manhattan courthouse Monday, slashing 2 in the neck and face. That's right, the neck and the face. Cries suspect identified as Jonathan Wall, W-O-H-L. He's got that I hate white people haircut and his beads from a tribe back in the Bungalungo days. 37 of Queens, is seen calmly approaching the metal detectors in Manhattan criminal court around 9:30 a.m., but then suddenly pounces on a court officer. The first part of the video, there's graphics over it, of course, but he's got a knife, and you can see him clearly stabbing the shit out of this guy. Check this out. There he is, pretending. He didn't even have an appointment there. And I guess he habitually harasses these guys, even when he's not even scheduled for a court hearing. There he is. There he goes. Now, why they... Anyways, look it. There you go. They clear it up for the stabbing. Oh, they didn't. They pixelated the stabbing. Why could I see it last... What the fuck? Anyways, he grabs a guy. You can see him with a knife. Got him, I don't know how many times. Luckily, he survived because all these guys jumped in, right?
There's something wrong with the black man's mind. There's something wrong with his mind.
Oh, don't say stuff like that. Everybody does it. Law enforcement sources said the accused assailant did not have a scheduled hearing at the 100 Center Street courthouse, and a motive for the assault is not known. Well, let me fill that part in for you, you dumb fucks. They're wearing cop uniforms. He's an 18-time convicted scumbag who hates anybody with a badge, a hat, a gun, or security. How about that? And he's been in this building probably 100 times. Wall has 18 prior arrests. I'll repeat that, 18 prior arrests. And he's still, walking around. I don't know. California, believe it or not, had at one point... Sure, it's gone now, but they had something called 3 strikes and you're out. That means you had 2, I think it was felonies. I'm not even sure. Might not have been felonies. But if the third one was you stealing a piece of bubble gum, you're going to prison the rest of your life. But God forbid we had something like that in all states. How many, that's how I know the legal system's just made for lawyers to make money and shit. Wall has 18 prior arrests with 3 open criminal cases and has been a nuisance at the courthouse, in quotes, always harassing the court officers.
You're crazy! I'm not crazy, I just don't give a fuck.
The injured officers were hospitalized and are in stable condition. So that's why you got to give your hats off to cops and first responders and even guys that are working the courthouse security. You don't know. You're around filthy, dangerous people, especially if you live in shitholes like L.A., Chicago, and New York, which aren't shitholes when a Republican's running them, by the way. I friggin' loved New York when I was there. Boy, did I get out in time.
Giuliani?
Of course, I was there for the beginning of Giuliani. Not the whole time, but yeah. I got there, actually, it was David Dinkins, the black dude, before Giuliani. And the place was a shithole. I've told this story before. I went out to L.A. for a year, came back to New York. I didn't recognize. Giuliani had won. I was out there for a year or two. I can't remember. I come back, and there's no more squeegee, man. You couldn't go a block without like 3 squeegees. If you were in a car, they'd throw dirty water on your windshield and fucking didn't want money. And it was garbage was stacked everywhere. I go to L.A. for a little while, come back. I go, what the fuck? This is the first time I realized politicians can make a difference. Yeah, Giuliani did that. So it is possible, New York. Yeah, but you keep voting for people like Bragg, and I'll say it again, I don't think you vote for them. I think those people are placed there under the guise of an election. You know. Nick, how do you know that? Well, they stole a federal presidential election. That's how I fucking know. And if you argue that point, too, you can go suck a bag of cheese. I cleaned it up for the people that Anyways, let's move on to Trump going after illegals in Sanctuary City. Of course, this sends the left in a tizzy. What? It's like getting mad because the bank robber goes where the money is. Remember that guy? Why do you rob bank? Well, who was it? He was a famous guy. Not Dillinger, was it? Why do you rob banks? Because that's where the money is. Boy, do I love logic like that. Hit a lefty with that and they shit their pants. Why are you going to sanctuary cities? Because that's where illegals are. Yeah, but they're not illegal. Well, I mean, they came in the country illegally, but what? But what? Words either mean something or they don't, fuckface. Try doing that in Mexico. You go to Mexico and sneak in, or Russia, or anywhere else. See what happens. Jesus Christ, your parents must have sucked, you lefties. You really, they fucking sold you a bushel of shit in a fantasy world. There's no reason. And anybody who votes Democrat, they believe that shit. We should have open border. Everybody, because their big wet dream is that utopian society where we all hold hands and shit. Have you not studied human nature and the human species and how flawed and retarded it is? That's why it doesn't work. Get out of your wet dream, you fuckheads. Hello, I'm Sean Hannity, and I support this message without the cursing. Our nation's ICE officers have shown incredible strength, determination, and courage as they facilitate. This is Trump's thing on Truth Social. As they facilitate a very important mission, the largest mass deportation operation of illegal aliens in history. Every day, the brave men and women of ICE are subjected to violence, harassment, even threats from radical Democrat politicians. But nothing will stop us from executing our mission and fulfilling our mandate. I'm surprised that word's still allowed.
I know.
Shouldn't it be a person date? How about a date with a trans date? To the American people. ICE officers are herewith ordered by notice of this truth, capital letters, to do all in their power to achieve the very important goal of delivering the single largest mass deportation program in history.
Yes, sir.
In order to achieve this, we must expand efforts to detain, I wish I could do Trump, it would be much more exciting, and deport illegal aliens in America's largest cities, such as Los Angeles, Chicago, Nueva York, where millions upon millions of illegal aliens reside. Yeah, but they're just here to pick our peaches and there's no strawberries and peaches in New York. The fuck are you talking about? Yeah, but they wash this. We have machines that do that now. Yeah, but what? You said they didn't do people's jobs. So why are you saying that they're washing dishes and picking fruit? Oh, I see. They are. These and other such cities are the core of the Democrat power center, where they use illegal aliens to expand their voter base. Biden never won an election. I'll say it again. I know I'm preaching to the choir here. He never won. He never won. He got his ass handed to him big time, bigly. And don't forget it. And that was their whole big wet plan, too, to get enough illegals. He let 21 million in, and they all reside in cities like this, so they would fucking, right, win these giant, New York, California with 98 seats, electoral seats or whatever. That was their wet dream. But then Trump showed up. Thank Christ. And I do thank Christ. Christ, thanks. You're welcome. To expand their voter base, cheat in elections, and grow the welfare state. How can you argue with any of that? We're not arguing. That's good stuff. Robbing good paying jobs and benefits from hardworking American citizens. And again, you've been told that's bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Again, till Trump showed up and proved them wrong. You really think you can have zillions of people come in, and kids pour into schools that don't know English and shit, and it's not going to cost us much. It takes for every dollar that they put into it, illegals and their families and shit, they take 4 out. I've read that from both left and right publications. You can't hide math. I tried to in college. I had all the answers right here. The goddamn teacher, they don't take their eyes on it, especially if you've been known to cheat. Mr. DiPaolo, what do you got there? I'm looking at the AFC East, standing. These radical left Democrats, this is Trump talking, by the way. This is all in his statement on Truth Social. They're sick of mind, which is better than top of mind. Boy, we miss her. I wonder how that book's selling that she wrote in crayon with a scratch and sniff fucking Raggedy Andy doll. Blackety Ann. These radical left Democrats are sick of mind, hate our country, and actually want to destroy our inner cities. That's been true for about 60 years. And they're doing a good job of it, he said. There's something wrong with them. That is why they believe in open borders. This is Trump still he must have been doing a little bit of, he says he doesn't. He might have hit the, you know what I mean? Open borders, transgender for everybody, and men playing in women's sports. They believe in all that. And that is why I want ICE, Border Patrol, and our great and patriotic law enforcement officers to focus, that's in capital letters, on our crime-ridden and deadly inner cities. And those places where sanctuary cities play such a big role. You don't hear about sanctuary cities in our heartland, do you, he says.
You are correct, sir.
I want our brave ICE officers to know that real Americans are cheering you on every day. The American people want our cities, schools, and communities to be safe and free from illegal alien crime, conflict, and chaos. Can't you just hear the left reading that? What does that mean, illegal alien crime? Don't you know that the citizens, they create more crime than the illegals? Well, yeah, there's zillions more Americans. There's something called percentages. Ever tried percentages? I know they're a little tough for you retards. That's why I have directed my entire administration to put every resource possible behind this effort and reverse the tide of mass destruction migration that's turned once idyllic towns into scenes of third world dystopia. All right, I love Trump to death, but he didn't write that. He doesn't use words like that. He reads them beautifully. Guy's a master on the teleprompter. But man, it'll sound like my mind always, and I'm not taking anything away from Trump. Somebody probably transcribed it for him, whatever, stenographer. But I got to believe Steve Bannon was a stenographer. I don't know. Our federal government, well, what they're saying, that's what he's saying. Our federal government will continue to be focused on the remigration. It is a word we haven't. The remigration of aliens to the places where they came from. You know, we've been yelling that for years on the right. Go back to where you came from, right? Of course, it would be, racists yelling that shit at black. Now black people are yelling it at fucking Mexicans and Colombians. Yo, man, get back to your crib. Enter. Of aliens to places from where they came from, and preventing the admission of anyone who undermines the domestic tranquility of the United States. Then he said, finally, I hope, I'm losing my voice. Excuse me. To ICE, FBI, DEA, ATF, the Patriots at the Pentagon, and the State Department, you have my unwavering support. Now go get the job done. DJAT, he says. Why is everything so quiet? These are awful low today. What did I do now? What did I do? Yeah, fuck it. I'm sitting in 1C, too. Got nothing to beef about. First one on the plane, first one on. I'm just... You know what it is? And it's the nitwits when you show up to the airport. You get that wave of, oh, this is why I hate it. Screaming babies, people talking too loud on phones, people farting while you're waiting to take off. Those are first world problems. Shut up. Our Father who far. Let's move on to the King of Virtue. Oh, yeah. Good time to do this. Tour dates, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know me as a comedian, you should. It's what I do best. July 12th, Hyenas in Dallas, Texas. The next night, on the 13th, The Secret Group in Houston, Texas. And then in August, the 8th through the 9th at my old stomping ground, Side Splitters in Tampa, Florida. And then September 19th and 20th, Wise Guys, Salt Lake City, Utah. I love it. It's a pretty city, man. October 3rd, Arlington Draft House, Arlington, Virginia. October 16th, Zanies, Nashville, Tennessee. That's enough, okay? If you want to support the show, go to nickdip.com, go to the merchandise page, and buy hats and hoodies and all kinds of crack pipes and meth stuff things and ashtrays. Ashtrays, that ain't a bad idea.
Hi, good night, everybody.